Hello, everyone, and welcome to GameSpot's pre-show for Summer Game Fest, aka the Summer Keigleys. I'm Lucy James. Joining me today is Timur Hussein.
Hello, all praise goes to Geoff Keighley.
And Jordan Ramey.
What's up? Are we worshipping Geoff Keighley now? Is that the end thing?
Geoff Keighley is our game god of summer. You must sacrifice your favorite game to him.
We're just hoping he does an Elden Ring announcement.
Okay, so I had money on Tam being the first person to discuss Elden Ring, Jordan, but I think technically it was you. But we'll talk about Elden Ring in a second. We are going to be talking about what we hope to see from the show, what we know is going to be announced, and any wildcard predictions we might have. So in terms of the show itself, it's going to be roughly hour and a half to 2 hours, judging by what Geoff has said on Twitter. There's going to be 30 plus games. Including some games that have that are continuously updated. So we know things like Among Us is going to be there and some news on the new COD season. But there are going to be 12 world premieres, which is very exciting. There's also going to be musical guests and Giancarlo Esposito too, which I'm very excited for. But it's so weird to see, Gus Fring at a gaming event. But anyway.
I hope he's the musical guest.
That would be dope.
Hey, you never know.
That'd be so cool.
Look, I've got to get it out there at the beginning of the show. Very, very disappointed that there are no Muppets.
Was that confirmed? Did they actually say that?
Yeah. Geoff tweeted out about managing expectations and said that no Muppets this year. Which is very sad to me because I always thought they were a great little addition to every time.
Interestingly though, he took the opportunity to say there's not going to be Muppets to manage expectations. He did not take the opportunity to say there will be no Elden Ring to manage expectations. Thus, there is a chance. There is a chance, everyone. Thank you, Geoff.
Okay, No, come on. Let's talk about Elden Ring.
Oh, why are you giving in to him? You know that Tam just wants to take over the stream and talk about Elden Ring.
If I don't let him talk about Elden Ring now, he's going to keep bringing it up until we do talk about it. And honestly, I am also at the point where I just want Elden Ring to be shown. Tam, why do you think it's going to be today at Summer Game Fest? And not at Microsoft's conference?
Because my fingers are tingling. My genitals are tingling. Every part of me is tingling. And you know when that happens? That happens when I can feel something is going to happen in the energy of the world around From Software. I'm in tune with
Are you sure you just haven't had too much coffee? Because that also sounds like...
I may have had too much coffee. There was some substances that I took. It's fine. It's just loads of sugar. So I am hopped up on sugar, but I feel it. This is all my time playing Souls games and Bloodborne games. I don't know. I just feel it, man. And if it doesn't happen, I cannot begin to explain the sadness I will feel. But I'm believing. I tweeted out earlier to everyone, let's manifest together. And that tweet has been quote tweeted many times and retweeted. I feel like the Elden Ring community right now is like, I'm Goku and they're giving me their spirit energy so we can spirit bomb an Elden Ring trailer towards the community. I don't know. It feels right, man. It feels right. If it doesn't happen, I will cry on stream.
But what if it's not here today? And what if it's at Microsoft on Sunday?
I mean, I'll take it. So I'm gonna leave. If it doesn't show up today, I'm gonna leave sad. But I still have hope for Microsoft because we did an interview with Big Phil Spencer, aka Big Phil, aka Philly, and he said I was playing it. I've played it, which means there's a decent chance. After he finished playing it, he was like, can we have this for E3? And then Miyazaki was like, yeah, you can have this for E3. So there's a decent chance. If it doesn't show up at Microsoft, then we've got a problem. Then we've got a big, big problem. That is when I'm going to be like, holy moly, something's bad. And I will begin walking into the sea and you'll never see me again.
I mean, first of all, where to begin unpacking all of that? But I mean, specifically, why do you think it's going to be Geoff's show today? Is it like friendship ended with Phil Spencer? Geoff Keighley is now my best friend.
I feel like Jordan mentioned it earlier. If Geoff is going for anything to give him like a big punch with the Summer Games Fest trailers, he is going for Elden. He knows what people want. He's a crowd pleaser. He's a people pleaser. He has probably like day after Game Awards, or like the day after Game Awards where Sekiro won the award for Game of the Year, he was probably in Miyazaki's DMs being like, how about hooking me up with a trailer for Elden Ring? And if he wasn't, I bet he spent that entire year up until this point just constantly being Miyazaki's reply guy on whatever Discord server they're in together, just being like, hook me up, sort me out.
I love the idea of Geoff and Phil just breaking into the office at the exact same time, being like, please give us the Elden Ring trailer.
Also, I mean, yeah, I would love to see it today, but I think it'll be Xbox. I am very, very happy to be proven wrong. But I believe like something in my heart of hearts tells me it's going to be Xbox. But let's talk a little bit about what we do know we're going to be seeing today. So in terms of musical performances, Japanese Breakfast, Weezer, and the Sonic Symphony is going to be doing like a special orchestral thing for Sonic's 30th anniversary, which is quite nice. Because I think one of my favorite things that always about the Game Awards are those big orchestral performances that they do. The Red Dead Redemption one in particular from a couple of years ago, and the big Game of the Year medley from 2018 was unbelievable. So I'm genuinely very excited about those because it's a mix of like stuff in games, but also just, Weezer is there too. Jordan, what do you think? Are you excited about the musical? And Weezer's there too. Are you excited for the musical stuff or the special guests like Jeff Goldblum, Giancarlo Esposito, and I've already said no Muppets.
I say I'm there for the music. Sonic, his games have been admittedly a little hit or miss, like over the past decade or two. But the music always hits. The music for Sonic always hits. So to get an orchestral version of that, it's gonna be so good. An experience. I can't wait for it.
I honestly, I never really grew up being a Sonic gal, so I don't think it's going to have as much emotional meaning to me as it will for you, but I'm very glad you're excited about it. Let's talk about the games then. So we've got 30 plus games, and so here's some of the stuff that we know about. Let's kick it off with Among Us. So definitely, judging from what I could see on Twitter, it just looks like there's going to be a new color, maroon, but also the Jeff mask is back, and I think as part of a Twitch drop. Tam, when was the last time you played Among Us?
I think I played it last time I played it was when I played it with you, where I got the imposter. I was cast as the imposter 7 times in a row. So to the point where people just immediately knew that I was the imposter even before the game had begun. So I wouldn't say I had the best experience with Among Us. What I am interested in seeing is whether Geoff will use the word sus. Is Geoff Keighley going to say the word sus in front of hundreds and thousands of gamers? I've got my fingers crossed for it. I hope for it. On top of that, I think I'm glad that Among Us is there because it's been one of the defining games of the last year and a half. And there's a massive community of people that are keen. So like even a simple color reveal and the Jeff mask is just enough to fuel the meme factory for us, and that's ultimately what's the most important thing about the Summer Games Fest. Memes and Elden Ring, but mostly memes, but also Elden Ring, mostly Elden Ring.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, speaking of Elden Ring memes, poor Geoff did do an AMA on Reddit, and every single question pretty much was a quote from the Elden Ring trailer. Or asking him where Elden Ring.
I see you found my alt accounts. Excellent.
Your millions of alt accounts. No, I agree. Like I really enjoy seeing updates for things like Among Us at, on a stage like Summer Game Fest or the I almost call them the Keighleys because that's just what I call them, the Game Awards, because it's just nice to see sort of recognition for games that are continuing and like providing new updates and stuff. And so I haven't played Among Us in a while. Jordan, is this going to be, regardless of what this is?
I've never touched Among Us. I'm excited for the people who like Among Us, but it's just it's just not my type of game. It's not my cup of tea. I can speak.
Wow, you're trying to appeal to the two Brits in the room. I like it. We also know that there's going to be Call of Duty Season 4. So this is kind of hot on the heels of VGC reporting yesterday that COD's going to be skipping E3. But COD Season 4, there will be some information about it today at Summer Game Fest, as well, to see the World Series of Warzone captains unveiled. I don't know what that means. I assume it's an esports thing.
I
think
imagine
so? I think so.
It is an esports thing, but like I don't know. Like I feel like they would have used this opportunity to announce more guest characters. Like we had, what was it, Rambo show up and John McClane. Like why? I hope that they sneak in like a surprise. Like, hey, we've got Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious is here in the Warzone. And he's just like constantly doing family quips with his squad. Like that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I think like Call of Duty and Call of Duty Warzone becoming the behemoth that it is, it makes 100% sense that it would show up. There are a lot of people that are keen to see what the next iteration of the Warzone seasons brings to the game, and I'm one of them. As someone who kind of plays passively, Warzone continues to be doing interesting things. It is the most interesting thing that Call of Duty has done in quite some time, love it or hate it. At least they're trying something different with Call of Duty, and I'm super up for that. I hope they do lean into a bit more of the weird experimental stuff that they have been trying with the character stuff and the smaller events things. So I'm eager to see what the next season holds.
Jordan, you still playing Warzone?
I play it on and off. I mean, my battle royale of choice is Apex Legends, which I feel I've made abundantly clear on many of the shows that we've done. But I mean, Warzone is awesome. Every time I play it, I'm like, yeah, Call of Duty is so good. And it's been interesting to be like, man, I hope that it's there if for no other reason that we get a Battlefield trailer, new Call of Duty like trailer announcement thing, and then presumably Halo Infinite during the Xbox Bethesda thing, because it's been a very long time since we've been like, yo, we're getting Halo, Call of Duty, and Battlefield all in the same year, all at the same time. It's like a throwback to like early 2000s.
Yeah, or like maybe 10 years ago, at kind of the apex of 360 era, when just all of that stuff was coming out, and it was sort of like the halcyon days of first-person shooters. So yeah, we're definitely going to get some word on COD Season 4. But interesting, we're going to get a brand new game announcement that they've already teased and has sort of already leaked because it was in like source code of a website. But new game from Gearbox, bechaoticgreat.com. Everyone kind of assumes it's going to be a Borderlands thing because someone in the website code found the name Wonderlands. So, Jordan, you are our resident Borderlands fan. Are you excited for more games in that universe?
Depends. Really, really depends. I was one of those people that I was a fan of Borderlands 3, but even I could tell that I'm like, man, it's kind of just doing what Borderlands 2 did like 7 to 8 years prior. It's just kind of just doing it again, and it hasn't really evolved in any way. So my hope is that if this Wonderland is connected to Borderlands, which it very well looks like it is, what are they doing to change it? How are they evolving? Are they still going for the 4-character structure? Is it more you can create your own character? Is it still a linear campaign through levels, or is it more of an open world adventure? What are they doing? How is it different? Because if it's exactly the same as Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3, I'm not sure if I'm going to be excited for that. I kind of want a little bit more out of the Borderlands franchise going forward.
I think my favorite Borderlands adjacent thing was Tales from the Borderlands, right? And so that was an interesting story told in a very different way, but still set in that universe. And Tam, you and I played Borderlands 3 together with a mix of results. Gunplay was fun. I think just the joke sort of grated after a while.
Yeah.
Could you be tempted to dip your toe back in?
Be quiet, please. I could be tempted to go back in. But like I said, yeah, I need it. Like Jordan said, I need it to be something different right now. I feel like the Borderlands franchise needs to. This is gonna sound mean, but I kind of believe it. It needs to grow up a bit, and I'm not saying like become dour and like have no fun with it. There are ways to have fun in a personality. I just feel like it feels like a very year 2000 game, and mechanically it's very sound. I think there's interesting ways that you can take what's there and spin it into something different. But yeah, I could definitely go back into Borderlands. I'm keen to go back into Borderlands. I loved playing all of those games. It's just the world is like fascinating to me and really beautiful. But anytime dialogue is spoken, I'm just like, please stop.
How dare you say that? Tiny Tina's in those games, and her dialogue is wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful for like 5 minutes, and then she carries on for another 3 hours, and you're like, all right.
How dare you?
So
How dare you?
That's the thing. I am one of those people who can take on Leave Borderlands. I remember playing Borderlands 1 and enjoying it. I've played like half of 2, didn't really get into it, but then we finished 3, and I think that gameplay loop and the fact that there were however many bajillions of guns, I think that was what the marketing tagline was. I thought that was really fun, and I enjoyed the way I could spec my character and like the progression and stuff. But I agree. I think the humor grated on me after a while, but I think the world itself is so cool, and I think a lot of the mechanics are just perfectly right. So I'm very interested to see more of what they could do with Borderlands. Do we think, I know there is going to be some kind of Gearbox panel this weekend too. Do you think they're going to show all of their cards here or save it for the weekend? And what do we think about the Borderlands movie, if we're going to see any of that today?
Oh my god, I completely
Open
forgot
that up
about
to
the
the
movie.
floor.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense that they would actually... Yeah, they might actually like talk more about the movie today and like tease that they're going to announce a new game like at their panel. I could actually see that. That would be... Of course, we've also like come off of the E3 2019 where it was like, oh, Kingdom Hearts is going to be at every single conference across the entire thing. So maybe Gearbox is just like, we can do the same thing. We're just as cool as Kingdom Hearts. We're just going to show a new Wonderlands trailer at every single conference this year.
Yeah, but except I hope they don't do what Kingdom Hearts did. And remember that, was it
terrible.
Microsoft's press conference? They played the version with, was it like the sound effects were really loud or there were no sound effects and it was really weird?
Didn't it use like was it the one that had the watermark on the Frozen section? Wasn't that from E3?
Yes. Yeah, that was in the E3 trailer.
There was like some random DivX watermark in the corner.
That was such a long E3 for that reason alone. It was like, wow, we're seeing another Kingdom Hearts trailer. Oh my god, never do that again. Any developers, no one should do that.
I think that they tease the game here and like show like maybe 5 or 10 seconds of it and then go, come back during our press conference to see more of this and the movie. And then that's pretty much all we get, which will be enough.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I still can't believe that it's like, is it Jamie Lee Curtis and Cate Blanchett are in it? It just doesn't feel... Is it? I mean, I could see Jack Black being in it.
Isn't he? And
is he?
Kevin Hart is Roland, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not making this up.
I think that's
like
right.
it's like surprisingly like good pulls across the board, but like putting people into roles I'm like, I never would have considered that for them.
Yeah, it's definitely not like an Uwe Boll production. We've actually got some, it looks like it's got some money and some clout behind it, so it could be good. Or whatever Paul Anderson I don't know which one it is. Paul Thomas Anderson,
it's no.
Is it Thomas or
Paul
it's not Paul Thomas? It's Paul.
It's Paul W.S. It's definitely not Paul Thomas Anderson.
Please get Paul Thomas
Paul
Anderson.
Thomas Anderson's Resident Evil.
Get him on. That's how you Capcom. I just gave you a free idea there.
Oh man.
I would love to see what he would do with something like Resident Evil or Monster Hunter, but no, alas, it's Paul W.S. Anderson. How did we get here? Borderlands. Okay, so yeah, we definitely know there's going to be Borderlands. We're also going to see first gameplay from Evil Dead, the game, which I'm kind of excited about because Evil Dead is one of those movies that, like, and also there's this kind of renaissance of B horror movies right now as well. I guess like Dead by Daylight, and all of the crossovers that they've had. Are you excited to see any more of Evil Dead, the game?
Yeah, I think Evil Dead is one of those classic franchises that is due a good game, and I hope it kind of it's such a good universe as well. And hasn't Ash shown up in a bunch of other things now at this point? Like,
yeah, he was in something fairly recently. I want to say.
Fortnite?
I just can't remember.
I feel like his character was in Fortnite.
Maybe,
possibly.
Maybe it is Fortnite.
I mean, at this point, I've been in
Daylight,
Fortnite, so
yeah. But like, yeah, I think you could make a really cool, like, action game, even a survival horror style action game, with Evil Dead, and give it like its own unique little identity and cool little personality that's like scary and creepy and kind of grotesque, but also very lighthearted. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see that Evil Dead game. I hope it's good. If it's just like mediocre, then I'm just gonna be like, no.
I can never hear the word mediocre without hearing the Mad Max.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah. So that's in my head. As soon as you said mediocre, that's where it went. We've got just under 5 minutes before we will throw over to Geoff and the Summer Game Fest show. So very quickly, do we think we're going to see some Far Cry 6 here today? I know Giancarlo Esposito is there. I guess I'm not sure what he's doing, because usually they would be hosting awards or something, like presenting an award, but I don't think that's the point of Summer Game Fest. So do we think he's there to introduce like a new thing for Far Cry, or is he just there for a laugh? Jordan?
It makes the most sense for him to be introducing Far Cry, unless like at the same time that he's been doing Far Cry, someone else is like, yo, this actor's really dope, let's get him for our game, which, I mean, maybe. It's one of those things where I'm like, it makes sense for him to be introducing another trailer for Far Cry 6, but at the same time, I'm like, why would Ubisoft want to showcase something for Far Cry 6 when they have Ubisoft Forward like in a few days, and they would theoretically be showcasing Far Cry 6 there?
Maybe Far Cry 6 is going to be the Kingdom Hearts 3 of summer 2021.
I feel like you bring him on, and like I said in a previous stream, Ubisoft is still chasing the Vash, like, do you know the definition of insanity moment? I feel like what they might do is show some sort of like really intense scene where he's delivering a speech like that, and either show that in engine and then have him come out and be like, it's me, I did that, or they have him live on stage do like a reading of it, to be like let's put the like the intensity on the audience as they're watching, and then Giancarlo Esposito does his thing. He acts in front of everyone, does a bit of theater, and everyone goes, wow, that was cool. And they don't actually show much of Far Cry. They just use his star power to promote the game. I would love to see that.
So you want him to actually like intro as his character?
Yeah,
did they do that for Star Wars Battlefront 2 with the main character for that? I can't remember the actress's name.
Jaina?
That sounds right.
I'm not sure. But no, I thought that, they would maybe do something like similar to what they did with Mirage at Game Awards a couple of years ago, where they had Roger Craig Smith doing the live actions. And maybe they'll do something like that. Or maybe it's an elaborate Ted Lasso crossover, because the main character in Far Cry 6 is called Danny Rojas, who is the Football is Life guy from Football is Life! So I really just want that to happen. We've got a couple of minutes. Why do we think Jeff Goldblum is there? Because I think Geoff Keighley tweeted that like all of the hosts are kind of involved in games. So what's Jeff Goldblum doing?
Jeff Goldblum appears. The Fly video game. Jeff Goldblum appears, comes to stage, does his like aloof, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to see, well, it's Elden Ring, yeah. And then Elden
He's
Ring
a boss
appears,
in Elden Ring.
and then he's like the new Patches. He's the new Patches.
Oh.
Like you don't get betrayed by it's Jeff Goldblum. He's like, yeah, oh, Wandering One. I've got some special wares for you when you like them, like that.
Oh, damn it! I love it. I love this idea.
all things come around. It's the circle of life. It's the Elden Ring of life. We've got just over a minute, so very quickly going to come to you both. Not Elden Ring and not Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm taking those off the table.
Why?
What do you really hope to see at Summer Game Fest today? Jordan, go.
What is that game called? Callisto Protocol? What is that? It's the sequel to the PUBG universe, the horror game. Gosh.
Yeah.
Calypso, something like that.
Callisto.
I can't even remember its name, but it looks so cool, and I want to see gameplay. That would be dope.
Tam?
Oh, I want to see Big Phil on stage. I want to see Big Phil on stage, just being like, "Hello, everyone. Here's some Halo," and then there's a couple of seconds of Halo. Come back to the Microsoft press conference where we'll show you more of this video game called Halo. So I'd be happy with that.
That's fair. I want to see something from BioWare, Mass Effect or Dragon Age. Either or. Would love both. So we will be back here after Summer Game Fest to discuss all the biggest announcements and world premieres. So you won't want to miss it. And now we're going to throw over to Geoff Keighley and Summer Game Fest 2021.
I told you we'd start right on time. Hello, everyone around the world, and welcome to Summer Game Fest Kickoff Live, presented by Prime Gaming. I'm Geoff Keighley, and buckle up, because we've got a big show for you, filled with new game announcements, world premieres, updates on the games you play every day, some surprises, and special guests, including Jeff Goldblum, Giancarlo Esposito, and performances by Weezer, Japanese Breakfast, and the Sonic the Hedgehog Symphony Orchestra. Yes, that's really a thing. Now, like a great video game, there may be some twists along the way today, and just wait until you see what we have planned for the end game. That is all I'm allowed to tell you right now. This is just the start of a big Summer Game Fest weekend of news and updates for fans, including live-streamed events from publishers like Xbox and Bethesda, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and more. You can head right now to summergamefest.com to track all the events, and believe me, there is a lot of great stuff coming your way. But today, we kick things off with a big 90-minute cross-industry showcase meant to put platforms and rivalries aside. We will have updates and news for you, no matter if you play on Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. The biggest games in the world will be here, and some of the smallest ones too, made by emerging voices and developers from around the world who represent what's next. Thank you so much for tuning in and kicking off Video Game Summer. Well, let's begin with a brand new game announcement. You're about to see the world premiere of the next great adventure from Gearbox and 2K.
Fate. It soars on the wind. It rises from the grave. It stalks the ocean floor. You cannot hide from fate. But you can make your own.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is official, and joining us now is Tiny Tina herself, Ashley Burch. Hey, Ash, how you doing?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Great to have you here. So I think the big question everyone's going to have is, what is Wonderlands? What can you tell us about it?
It's a great question.
Yes.
It's a high fantasy take on a looter shooter, as you saw, and if you're a fan of Borderlands, you'll probably recognize some fantasy elements inspired by Assault on Dragon Keep, which was the Borderlands 2 DLC that was beloved by the devs, and so this kind of inspired Wonderlands.
Now, I think the elephant in the room is this a Borderlands game? Is it not? How does it relate?
So it actually isn't. It's its own standalone game, and people that love Borderlands are going to find lots of elements to love about Wonderlands, but it's its own thing. Tiny Tina's got her own thing going on now, so it's got its own mechanics. There's spell casting. You can customize your character this time, which is super exciting. And yeah, so if you love Borderlands, you're going to find stuff to love in this. And if you've never played a Borderlands game, this is a great place to start.
Okay, well, Tiny Tina gets her own game, which is fantastic.
Yes.
What is her role? Why does she get her own game?
So she is your bunker master. She's kind of guiding the narrative and changing it on a dime if she wants. And she's just taking your cast of characters, which is an amazing cast, through this wacky world. And she's taking you on an adventure to defeat the Dragon Lord. Who is that? I don't know. You'll have to play.
And I wonder who plays the Dragon Lord, because you've got quite the voice cast, including you in this, which is awesome. So feels like such a big experience. So this was a bit of a tease, announcing it's out there. When will we find out more about this game?
Hopefully this summer, and you can find out a lot more at playwonderlands.com if you'd like.
Okay.
But yeah, just stay tuned for updates.
All right, coming early 2022, so
Yes.
look forward to next year. Ash, thank you so much for joining us in person.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it, and we'll see more later this summer on that game. All right, well, now it is time for another brand new game announcement. This one you probably are not expecting. A classic 90s franchise is coming back to life as a grid-based tactical strategy title for Steam on PC. This is an insanely fun trailer. I hope you'll enjoy it. Okay, we have another big announcement for you from a surprise guest, but it's well past 3 a.m. their time, so don't worry, we chatted earlier, and I'm very excited to share this with you right now. Hello, mystery guest.
Hello, Jeff. Hi.
Mr. Kojima, it is so good to see you. Thank you for joining us from Tokyo. First of all, I just want to ask, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are things right now over there in Japan?
東京ではですね、また非常事態宣言っていうのが出てて、ちょっとコロナの、患者数が増えつつあると。で、ワクチンをそろそろ打ち出そうとしてる、そういう感じですね。
Well, we certainly hope that you're going to get your vaccine soon. Let me ask you, as a creator, how has this past year impacted you?
まあ今までのものづくりっていうのはまあ今自分がいる世界を見てで地続きで5年後10年後20年後どうなるかっていうのを考えながらそこにエンターテインメントを加えていって、まあ、作ってたのが結構その10年後20年後に当たってたりっていうのがあったんですけど今回の DS に関してはもう発売直後になったので、ちょっとかなりものの考え方が変わったというかものづくりのスタンスがちょっと変わったというかいろいろ考えました今後のものづくりやっぱりエンターテインメントである以上まあ、楽しんでもらって、そのプレイヤーのためになるものを作りたいっていうんですけどこんなにも早くこう時代が追いついてくるとちょっとこうなんていうんでしょうねフィクションじゃなくなってしまうので。なんで今回のコロナの中で、この先をどう作るかっていうのはいろいろ考えましたね。他のクリエイターも多分大きく考えていると思います。911の時と同じような感じだと思いますね。これからエンタメをどういうふうに切り取っていくかっていうのはやっぱり大きな課題ではありますね。
Well, I know we are all very curious about what the next era of Hideo Kojima entertainment is going to be. I don't know how much you can say, but can you give us any sense of kind of where your mind's at right now, what you're thinking about, some of the themes or the ideas?
これ言えないですけど今までのような、こう一歩一歩進むものじゃないんですよね。やっぱりその911の時もそうですけどこのコロナでガラリとあらゆるものが変わっていくものすごいスピードで変わっていくんでそこでエンターテインメントが遅れを取ってしまうとダメなんでそれをどうするかというその予測ですね。まあ、全くこう宇宙人が攻めてくるとか、そういうゲームであればコロナ禍でも関係ないんでしょうけど、やっぱりこう、社会性の基盤を持ったエンターテインメントっていうのを作りたいですし、皆さんに起こりつつあることをエンターテインメントの中でちょっとこう紹介したいというのもあるので今後世の中がどちらの方向に向かっていくかっていうのが今まで以上にすごく急激に変わっていっているのでそこを間違えないように作るというか。そこはすごく神経質になってます今。
All right, fair enough. I tried. Well, Mr. Kojima, honestly, I really do appreciate you making the time to stop by and just say hello to everyone. We miss you, and we can't wait to see what you're working on next. So, thank you.
Jeff, one more thing.
There you have it. Death Stranding Director's Cut finally confirmed. I hope I make it into the Director's Cut. I'm told the full reveal is just weeks away. Stay tuned. All right, next. It's my honor to welcome to Summer Game Fest a legendary actor who dedicated a whole episode of his Disney Plus show to exploring the world of gaming and has been in games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And we're thrilled to have him here at Summer Game Fest. Jeff Goldblum, how are you, my friend?
Thank you so much, Joffrey or Geoff or sorry, I think it's Jeffrey. Hey, maybe it's Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much, sincerely, for having me here. I'm thrilled to be here. Hey, I was watching your show, and I was wondering if there might be some video game world premieres, as you say. And sure enough, yeah, there is. There is.
Yes, we do like our world premieres around here. Any chance you brought one with you today?
Well, it's funny you should say that. Yes, you could say, yes, I do. If you don't mind, I've got something here. I'm going to read it on this. There's a little bit of a teleprompter that they're putting up here, so I'm going to read something because I don't want to get it wrong. I'm very meticulous about this. So here's a dramatic reading of this game announcement. Ready? I'm going to make the game announcement right now. Hello, I'm here to welcome you to a very different world. It's going to elevate you to new heights. It's going to submerge you to new depths, maybe even challenge you to control chaos. Actually, it's going to certainly challenge you to control chaos. It's a world so-called evolved. Take a look at the, you guessed it, world premiere. We ignored all the warnings, forgot the lessons, we abused our power. We played with genetics like it was a toy. We weren't careful. And now, here we are. This is a very different world.
All right, this performer's new album, Jubilee, is out now, and her book, Crying in H Mart, is a New York Times bestseller. Here now to perform Glider from the upcoming open-world game Sable by Raw, Fury, and Shedworks, it's Japanese Breakfast.
To see, it feels like everything
so beautiful. Thank you, Michelle. Sable will be released on September 23rd this year. That's some news for you. And to learn more about this amazing game, watch the Tribeca Games Showcase. That is tomorrow, where Sable was named an official selection of the Legendary Festival. Now, today is just the start of Summer Game Fest. Day of the Devs with IM8-Bit and Double Fine will immediately follow the live show today. And there are more events coming all weekend and all month, including the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase on Sunday. It's going to be a good one. Right now, though, we're thrilled to announce the upcoming Western release of a spectacular 3D, massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Welcome to the world of Lost Ark from Smilegate RPG and Amazon Games.
The Lost Ark is now but a myth. A relic from the half-remembered Chain War. But now, our world has been torn once again. The demons have returned. With roaring destruction and waking nightmares. Now, out of hope, we turn to myths to prove that not all is lost.
Sometimes when you play a game, there's that one thing in your inventory which turned out to be far more useful than you first realized. That's kind of like Prime Gaming. If you're an Amazon Prime member, and most of you probably are, you get a ton of gaming goodies every month. This month, you can download Battlefield 4 and Batman the Telltale series completely free for PC, and there are special in-game benefits and perks in GTA Online, Valorant, Apex Legends, and more that you can unlock. It's awesome value, and honestly, this kickoff show would not have been possible without the Prime Gaming folks believing in my vision for a new way to bring you the news this summer. So head over to gaming.amazon.com to check out all the perks and free games, which change every month, but you get to keep them forever. Okay, right now I'm honored to be joined by Johanna Ferris, the new GM of Call of Duty. Johanna, it's so great to have you with us here on Kickoff Live. Everyone is so excited about what Call of Duty's been doing with all these seasons, and I know, looks like next week, June 17th, Season 4?
Yes, we're super excited. We're super honored to be here, so thank you first and foremost to that. It's just such an amazing time for Call of Duty. We're experiencing such transformational growth and dynamism across the entire brand, you know, from premium title releases to everything we'll talk about today, with Warzone, with mobile, with esports. So it's just super incredible, all the work, and shout out to everybody in the Call of Duty family who makes it happen every day.
Yeah, no, you've been, I mean, I know Season 3, it was like, you know, Rambo, Die Hard now. Who knows what's in store for Season 4, but you guys, you know, continually update the game now with new stuff. Season 4 is coming next week. What can you, this is first info on it. So what can you tell the fans watching around the world?
Yeah, we're stoked. It's jam-packed with new content across Cold War and Warzone. You know, you've got new weapons, we've got new maps, we've got badass new operators. I'm super excited about the hijacked gulag. We've got expanded zombies content for everybody who loves that part of, you know, the gameplay experience. So we're thrilled, and I'm excited to bring it forward a little bit here today.
I know, we've got the first look world premiere trailer of Season 4, so let's take a look at that now.
Do what you are told, and you get to live. You understand? I knew you were a smart one. Secure the site. Cold War just turned hot.
We've located the satellite. Raptor 1, my team's about to be overrun.
I am death.
Oh my God, that looks so fun, and 1 week away.
1 week away.
All right, well, let's move on to, you first joined Activision to run Call of Duty Esports, and we're gonna talk a little bit now about what is the World Series of Warzone, which is gonna start on June the 22nd. First of all, tell us, what is World Series of Warzone?
Yeah, we're super excited about it. It's really a new way for us to highlight competitive Call of Duty. You know, we've got great success going with Call of Duty League, and now we've got some of the biggest names in gaming battling it out in Verdansk for what will be the biggest prize pool in Warzone since it's launched, right? So we'll talk a little bit about what that entails, but custom lobby experiences, 150-player to a side squad. So I'm stoked to see how they kind of rally here in Verdansk.
Yes, and coming up very soon, June 22nd, looks like Twitch Rivals is going to be a part of this?
Yeah, we are honored to be in partnership with Twitch, always, right? But certainly here with World Series of Warzone and partnering with Twitch Rivals, who's already done so much to really put competitive Warzone on display. So couldn't be in better partnership there, and we're excited to have everybody tune in.
Yes, there is one thing, though, that everyone has been talking about online, and that's who the captains are going to be for the structure of the World Series of Warzone, at least for the first event.
Yeah.
I understand we've getting a little bit reveal here of who some of the captains are, right?
Yeah, we love the first 5 captains of the first of many events to come. Like I said, these are huge influencers and personalities in Call of Duty, and they also share our passion for competitive Call of Duty, right? They really believe in the promise of World Series of Warzone and to really level up what it means to really battle it out. So couldn't be happier with some of these names, many of whom also hail from the Call of Duty League family. And I'm excited to see who kind of takes the cake here. We'll see.
I was going to say, they'll all be battling out in just a couple weeks on Twitch Rivals. Well, it's really exciting to see how much Call of Duty is growing into this kind of year-round experience for everyone with so much more content. So we can't wait to see where you're going to take it. And I know there is a big new mainline game coming later this year too, right?
Indeed, indeed. More details to share later on, but Sledgehammer Games is going to bring forward something truly incredible. So we're excited.
All right, we tried, guys. There will come a time and a place for that. All right, Johanna, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. All right, we've got lots of Summer Game Fest kickoff to go, but right now we've got a surprise guest joining us, my fellow Canadian, Ryan Reynolds. Hey, Ryan.
Well, thank you, Jeff, and hello, Summer Game Fest. Now, I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not here to announce I'm the star of Elden Ring. I think. Instead, no, I'm here to talk about good old-fashioned movies. You remember those things? Of course you don't. Look, I have a new movie coming out August 13th called Free Guy, and in this movie I play an NPC character in a popular open-world video game until I break free and I realize that it kind of sucks to be a lonely background character on an endless walk cycle. So now here's one of those world premieres. It's a first ever look at our cast on the big screen this August, and honestly, it's been so long I can't even remember who's even in this movie. I didn't say that. I'll cut that out. Yeah, I'll do it right now.
My name is Guy. I thought I had everything I needed. Mondays, am I right, Joe?
You said it, Guy.
But then I met her.
Put these on.
Oh my God! What are these, trick glasses or something?
Guy, there is no easy way to say this. This world, it's a video game. You're not real.
Please stop my...
And the guy responsible for this world was going to destroy it.
Are we talking about God? You've met God?
Yes, he's an absolute troll.
Trolls exist. We can save our world, but we have to fight together. I don't even know what's happening right now, but I love it! That actually hurt my hand.
I have 3 words for you. Blue shirt guy.
This guy is outskilling all these players.
I've never seen anything like this.
Who the hell even knows who this blue shirt guy is?
He's also really cute.
The game wasn't even made for someone like this.
Terminate him. Nope.
I can't die. I'm never gonna die.
That was fun seeing Ninja, Pokey, Jacksepticeye, Laserbeam, all those guys who will be in Free Guy. Ryan had to say it. I can't say it yet. All right. Up next, it won multiple awards at the Game Awards, and Among Us just keeps going. Now it's time to hear from Inner Sloth on what's coming next. Lots of fun ahead. And speaking of Among Us, last year you may remember the very rare Geoff Keighley mask was available as a Twitch drop around the Game Awards, never to be seen again. In fact, I often hear on Twitter from people who get booted from games with the mask because folks think that they're hacked. Well, never fear, today the mask is back. Just head to Twitch, connect your account, and watch 15 minutes or more of Kickoff Live to get your very own Geoff Keighley mask once again, and then it goes back into the vault. I don't know what's going on. All right. Speaking of independent developers, now I'm very happy to welcome to Summer Game Fest the head of indies at PlayStation, a legend in his own right who has some exciting things to share, Shuhei Yoshida. Hi, Shu.
Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everyone. I'm Shuhei Yoshida, head of PlayStation Indies. What I love about working with independent developers are the new and unexpected games that they create, which allows us to offer an array of unique experiences for players. In my role at Sony, it's very exciting to get to meet with these talented studios, which sometimes can be one person or a small group of friends, to help nurture their ideas and bring them to the PlayStation fans. One example is from Finji, who has been working with Gleb Lobanov, the developer of WonderSong, to publish their new game, Chicory, A Colorful Tale. Chicory released today and gives players the chance to experience a coloring book-style world where players use their painting powers to explore, solve puzzles, make friends, and draw on anything. Check out Chicory, A Colorful Tale on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 after the show. As a huge Soulsborne games fan, I totally enjoyed the beautiful 2D action adventure Salt and Sanctuary a few years ago. The developer Ska Studios has been hard at work on a new title, which I'm proud to present to you, Salt and Sacrifice.
Our sins will catch up with us. I was given a second chance. I spoke the words. I drank the Mage Bane. I live now only to hunt mages. I am a marked Inquisitor. There aren't many of us.
But together, we will tame the chaos.
Thanks, Shu, and that's not all. Today, we're also able to share with you a brand new trailer from the upcoming Annapurna and Heart Machine game, Solar Ash, which is coming to PlayStation later this year. That looks so great. Can't wait to see it later this year. Now, this week there is a ton of video game news, but there's also a big game launching across console and PC, Chivalry 2, which brings 64-player multiplayer medieval battles to life. Sledgehammers, swords, axes, you name it, and it comes from Torn Banner Studios in my hometown of Toronto, Canada. Here's a look at the launch trailer for Chivalry 2, which you can play right now.
Ready your weapons! Kill the Arcarthians!
For every warrior, there comes a time when a moment will decide your fate. As the throng of battle echoes against steel and shield, and we cry out towards eternity, find yourself in this moment! Ignite the fire of your soul and survive this day! Fall before me! Another victory! For Agatha!
This month, Valorant from Riot celebrated its one-year anniversary, and starting next Monday, June 14th, Prime Gaming members will get an exclusive player card to celebrate the one-year anniversary, and a pity party spray through June 25th. This is all leading up to the release of Episode 3 of the game later this month, which will be celebrated with an epic WW Fest Unlocked Year 1 stream on June 25th. But there will also be a new agent. Who could it be? Well, here's your first very exclusive but very quick tease to whet your appetite, with more to be revealed later this month during Summer Game Fest. Told you it was very, very quick. All right, warring PMC factions face off against each other in Escape from Tarkov, the popular multiplayer first-person shooter video game developed by Battlestate Games. Today, we've got an exclusive new look at the streets of Tarkov, the new area of the game under development. When I was a kid, the simulation games of Peter Molyneux were some of my favorites. Adding that extra salt on the fries in the theme park to increase your drink sales was so devilish. Well, many of the team members behind those sim games went on to create 2 Point Studios and 2 Point Hospital. Well, today we're excited to share the first trailer for their next 2 Point simulation, 2 Point Campus.
That first sight of the school gates, the scent of a leather-bound book, the faint clatter of knights jousting. Well, I can't say I remember that part, though it wasn't like this in my day. You see, campuses are forever changing. Nowadays, education has to be fun. It can't be all work and no play, and quite right too. Frankly, the results speak for themselves. Academia has never been more appealing, more dynamic, more whatever this is. Today's campus is a place to live and a place to learn. Finely crafted by the sharpest minds that money can buy. Though sometimes you still can't get the staff. Yes, these days it really does feel as though anything is possible. Point Campus. Class is in session 2022.
This year, I am thrilled to have Netflix as a part of Summer Game Fest. They have been doing an incredible job adapting games with series like Castlevania and the Dota anime. Well, there is a lot more coming, and you don't have to wait long to find out more. Tomorrow, I'm honored to be guest hosting Netflix's Geeked Week live stream with Mari Takahashi and Rahul Kohli. You can expect the first clip of the Cuphead show, which, spoiler alert, this show is going to be an absolute sensation. I can't wait for you to see it. I'll also sit down with the team behind Arcane, the League of Legends animated show coming later this year, and we might also have updates on The Witcher and the live-action Resident Evil series. Geeked Week is streaming live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Here's a little sneak peek.
What is Geeked Week? Netflix Geeked is hosting a free virtual event full of big news, exciting first looks, and the people who make the shows and films you love on Netflix. Comics, games, movies, zombies, animation, sci-fi, fantasy.
Arcane, the Cuphead Show, Army of the Dead, No Black Eye, Castlevania, Stranger Things, The Witcher, and much more.
People you love from the shows you love live. Grab your devices, tuck in, and join Netflix Geeked for Geeked Week. There's so much to get geeked about.
We aren't done with Netflix just yet, though. Coming up next is Smite, a cross-play, cross-platform game that continues to do some pretty amazing IP crossovers. You may remember last summer we announced the Avatar: The Last Bender one. Well, as Smite enters its 9th year, it's time to go upside down. Next up, we announce a lot of games on my shows, but I think this is the first time we are announcing an entirely new game label, new game publisher. Enjoy this first look at more than 12 games that make up its initial slate.
Sometimes I ask myself what it all means.
Let's begin.
Is that who you are?
My purpose makes me who I am.
I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile.
Being relied on to succeed where others would fail.
Prime Matter.
There you have it, Prime Matter, Payday 3-2, and there is actually one more game added to the mix, and for that we go to Todd Hollinshead from Saber. Todd, how you doing?
I'm great, Jeff. Thank you for the intro there. I'm really excited to have this little last edition, which is that Saber and Prime Matter are working together on a new game in the Painkiller franchise.
All right, very cool on that, and there are more details on Prime Matter coming tomorrow with a stream at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and I will be stopping by. Next up is a brand new IP from a brand new studio, Stray Bombay. It's coming this fall only to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass on day one. It's called The Anacrusis, a 4-player cooperative first-person shooter set aboard a massive starship stranded at the edge of explored space. You team up with your friends in an infinitely replayable fight against alien hordes to unlock perks, weapons, and new ways to play that you can share with your team. Here is the world premiere trailer.
Hello? NASA! Liu! Help! Lance! Get on! Thanks. No problem. Stick together and let's do this. Is this a disco?
This I do not like.
I can use some help! Hit your pulse!
This is not good. This is not good.
What if we open the doors and run? Just run. No stopping, no shooting, just straight to the bridge.
Get that flasher!
Heavy. Really? We call them tanks.
I call them brutes. From Latin, Brutus.
We'd sound smart calling them brutes.
Guion, you don't want to get in here and help name these?
Nah, I'm good.
Brute!
Awesome look. Thanks for that, Chet and the team at Stray Bombay. Tomorrow, tune into Summer Game Fest for a special deep dive presentation on New World, a new open world MMO from Amazon Games set on the supernatural island of Eternum. It's finally coming out later this summer, and in the deep dive video, game director Scott Lane will take players into the mysterious supernatural island that is a world of wonder and horror. Once you arrive, it's up to you to unite warring human factions to take on a common enemy, the Tempest, who wants to unmake life. Scott and the team will detail updates to the game, including new mid and end game content, more PvE and expeditions, 5-player challenges with unique mechanics, bosses, loot, and more. 6 of these expeditions will be at launch, with the closed beta on July 20th and the public launch on August 31st. I will also be down at the studio to chat with Scott about the game and the team's efforts over the past year in the midst of COVID. It is exciting for me to finally be able to get out there and visit game studios again. I miss all these developers. So check out the special deep dive stream on New World tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern at summergamefest.com. All right, well, back in 2018, Rocket League teamed up with Fast and Furious, bringing some of the saga's most iconic cars into the game. And now they are back with a twist that is truly Rocket League with Fast 9, the next installment of the Fast saga, arriving in U.S. theaters June 25th. Psyonix is bringing back the Nissan Skyline, Dodge Charger, and, well, maybe the most literal, supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered heist car ever conceived, the F9 Pontiac Fiero. Strap a rocket engine to a car and play soccer seems like the right idea to me. The Fast and Furious 3-car bundle arrives June 17th in Rocket League. Okay, next up, last year, a new Swedish company named Sharkmob released a teaser for their first unnamed multiplayer project in the Vampire the Masquerade universe. Tonight, we're putting a name on their first game with a brand new world premiere trailer.
centuries we have lived in secrecy among you, maintaining the masquerade. We have influenced your society, fed on your blood, thrived among you, until now. Don't feel now.
I can't wait to play this game, and we actually won't have to wait long. You can sign up now for the bloodhunt.com is where you go for the closed alpha PC test, available on July 2nd. Blood Hunt will be released later this year. Next, the latest horror game series from the creators of Until Dawn continues with The House of Ashes, part of the Dark Pictures anthology. This third game features American and Iraqi soldiers stranded in a cursed temple. Here's the story trailer with the exclusive reveal of the monsters lurking in the depths.
An ancient horror has awoken from its slumber and is hungry for blood. Shall we see how many have fallen into shadow?
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
Ready to go dark.
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
Man out, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna sigh out this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man for himself?
Down, get down! They're up on the ridge! Return fire!
You teeter on the edge of an abyss. Your survival depends on the choices you make. They will be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
What nightmare have these luckless souls fallen into?
You keep lookout.
Lookout? Lookout for what?
One by one, their lights will be snuffed out. Unless you can find the means to save them. Trapped beneath the earth, swallowed
You have to move, let's go.
by the void. Will you find the path to salvation? Or be lost in the darkness forever?
One of the longest, most beloved JRPG franchises in the industry is the Tales of series. Well, the latest game, Arise, was announced 2 years ago, and it brings the franchise into stunning 3D with Unreal Engine 4. Here's a world premiere look at the latest trailer, with more information following in the coming weeks.
Pretty fancy place they got here.
Harmony and coexistence.
between the Renans and the Danans.
I'm Dohilim Ilkaris. Should you need my skills on the battlefield, all I care for is maintaining peace.
I'm Captain Kisara of the Eldermenencia Guard. Ha! Flare the Malisa! From now on, when I fight to protect my dream.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger.
The Renans. Seems the rumors you were running with them were true.
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Been looking for you.
Olin, get the hell out of my realm! This is Danan's realm and it's ours, understand?
Is it over?
It's only just begun.
For Summer Game Fest, we have a special announcement for you. That the console version of Sky Children of the Light would arrive to Nintendo Switch on June 29th. And the Little Prince season would start soon after on July 6th. Enjoy the game.
One of the things I take great pleasure in is using a platform like this show to introduce you to new developers and studios with games that deserve the spotlight. That's definitely the case with this next title from a small Swedish studio named Wishfully. Planet of Lana tells the story of a young girl and her loyal friend who embark on a mission through a colorful world that's designed to feel like a gouache watercolor painting come to life. Here's your first look at the Planet of Lana, coming to Xbox and PC in 2022. What a beautiful artistic game. Honored to have that on our show. Well, joining me now is Aaron Keller, who's the game director of Overwatch 2. Aaron, great to have you here on Kickoff Live. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Yeah, we are excited to learn more about what's planned for Overwatch 2. You guys recently, you had a PvP live stream that I watched, and you revealed some changes coming to Overwatch 2. What can you tell us? What's the latest?
Yeah, so we recently announced that Overwatch 2's format is changing to a 5v5 team format. This requires a fresh look at all of our heroes in the game. It should feel new yet familiar to fans of our strategic team-based combat.
Yeah, it was great to see you guys playing, and you know, long awaited for people to get a chance to go hands-on with it. And today, I know you brought us a look at some skins for some of the characters, right?
Yeah, the team is so passionate about updating the look and the feel of the world of Overwatch. And one aspect of that is creating entirely new models for Overwatch 2 for all of our heroes. So today we're going to be looking at two of those, Baptiste and Sombra.
All right, well, let's take a look here, and I know you're going to tell us a little bit about what we're seeing, but it's so cool to see these characters brought into Overwatch 2. So yeah, what do we got here?
Yeah, so this is Baptiste, and there's a lot of new technology that go into our models. We have new hair shader tech, excuse me, in order to get the look that we're going for with his haircut. He also has a glowing cape and gloves that kind of give that medic or surgeon vibe to him.
Wow. So cool. Looks incredible.
Thank you.
And we're going to Sombra, I think, right?
Yep, so next up is Sombra. This was a very challenging look for us to update. It's an asymmetrical design. There's so many layers of hair and clothing and technology in this. If you look closely, you can actually see circuitry and nodes embedded in her clothing. She's a world-class hacker, so it all makes sense.
No, again, it's, you know, so great for fans to see these characters you know and love from the first game updated for Overwatch 2, and we can't wait to see more on the game. We appreciate you giving us a little sneak preview here, and I'm sure there'll be more later this year on Overwatch 2.
You bet. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thanks very much, Aaron. Now, recently I had a chance to play Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance with the game developer Jeff Haddam, Hannibal Buress, and Ember Moon from the WWE. That's right. You didn't expect me to say that. But this game is a ton of fun, and it's coming to Game Pass on June 22nd. Take a look. Hey guys, it's Geoff Keighley, and today as part of Summer Game Fest, we are going hands-on with a game that is coming out in just a couple of weeks. It is Dark Alliance, and we've got Jeff, one of the game developers from 2. Okay, Jeff. Special guests, Hannibal Buress and Ember Moon.
Okay.
What is this?
That looks like a trap.
Whoa,
that looks like a trap.
Oh my God. Traps.
Ow. Oh, shit.
Oh, no, you get... Oh, no.
A warrior's death, I died again.
I'm coming to get you.
Hey.
Oh!
Watch it.
Oh!
Oh, no. Oh, no, I can't believe I'm down. I'm down, people.
The developer's down?
The dev is down.
So, Ember, I know you really wanted to be Driss,
Absolutely.
right?
I've read all the books, especially the Driss backstory, and I just connected with it on such an intimate level to the point where my wrestling character that everyone sees on TV is actually based on this character. The red eyes, even though Driss has purple, I just love everything about him, that he's just constantly the good guy the entire time.
Oh, what the?
Oh!
He's a butcher.
It's the Verbeek chef.
That doesn't look healthy at all. Oh, why'd I just run up on him like that? Well,
Let me see
I'm
what
here
you
now.
got. You
So
ain't got
what?
nothing on us, baby.
I'm here now.
Whoa.
I spoke way too soon.
We got him.
Come on.
He's gone.
Come on.
He's gone.
Come on.
We don't want any dessert.
There you go.
Let's go.
Damn, what a death. Gonna have some weird dreams tonight because of that. Oh, he flipped us off.
Act complete.
That was great.
Yeah.
We did it.
Don't just think
All right, Summer Game Fest Kickoff Live presented by Prime Gaming continues. Yesterday was an amazing tease of the next Battlefield from EA. And if you want to dust up on the history of the franchise, its last big modern-day game, that was Battlefield 4. It's this month. Prime Gaming members get to download it and play it for free through June 20th. Now, there's no catch. This is the full-blown PC version of the 2013 game, and those only in Battlefield moments still hold up. Just head to gaming.amazon.com to redeem your free copy right now if you are an Amazon Prime member. And this Sunday, watch the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase for the first gameplay footage of Battlefield 2042. Going to be really cool. All right, right now, let's take a look at another world premiere. Monster Hunter Stories is coming to the Switch in July, and we've got your first look at the story trailer.
Wings of ruin.
You don't understand. That Rathalos is...
We can't let you interfere with our plans.
That's the monster Red Song.
You suppose he saw this coming?
We won't let you awaken it.
So, you're going to be born, huh?
Next, this legendary rock band hits the road this summer on the Hella Mega Tour with Green Day and Fall Out Boy. But first, they came together with an indie developer to create stream-safe music for the community. Yes, you can co-stream this performance. So turn it up, premiering their brand new, never-before-released song, Tell Me What You Want, from Wavebreak. This is Weezer!
Message that my manager wouldn't approve. After this song, he'll have a lot of cleaning up to do. Don't be influenced by an office full of dorks. I won't mention any names. Pitchfork. Tell me what you want. Baker to tell me which way to go, so I can play the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. Here's your big chance, yeah, you got the next 3 seconds. Tell me what you want. I'm gonna get right on it. of me. Are we almost there? Hey, baby, should I bleach my hair? Tell me what you want. I'm gonna get right on it. Tell me what you want. I'll write it down in my notebook. Do you notice? Tell me what you want. If it's gonna make you happy, I'll give you my guitar. Show me all your hot licks. Damn, that's cool.
That was so amazing. Thank you, Rivers and guys, for that. Both the song and the game released tomorrow on PC, Nintendo Switch, music streaming platforms, Twitch soundtrack, and a limited edition 7-inch vinyl on IM 8-bit. All right, well, right now, let's turn to a game that we announced last year at the Game Awards, Endless Dungeon from Amplitude. We showed a brief glimpse of gameplay in December, and fans wanted more. Well, here's an extended look at Endless Dungeon.
We're stuck in this wreck until everybody learns the rules. Yep, all of them. Rule number 1, certain weapons work better on certain monsters. Learn it or die. Oh, option B then. Rule number 2, use turrets to protect that unstable dust bomb we call the crystal. Because it's their catnip. And if it goes, you go. Yep, just like that. Rule number 3, watch your squad. Even if you've got the guns, the turrets, and the crystal, you can't do everything by yourself. If you fight alone, you die alone. Together again. And rule number 4? Well, if you've got all that going, but you still can't win, you gotta change the squad. Tag team. I'm in.
What are you guys doing tonight? If you're lucky enough to have a PS5, you're probably getting ready to play Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I've been playing it and having a ton of fun. Well, later today, the team at Insomniac is going to be doing a special launch stream on Twitch. And to tell us more, take it away, Marcus and Mike.
Hey, Jeff, and everybody watching Summer Games Fest Kickoff Live. Marcus Smith here, Creative Director at Insomniac Games for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We're excited that players finally get a chance to play the game tomorrow, and to celebrate, we want to spend some more time with you today. At 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, to live stream the first hour of Rift Apart. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right. I'm Mike Daly, the game director of Rift Apart. In addition to playing through the opening of the game, we'll also be taking your questions live and talking about what it was like to develop the game behind the scenes. So please join us at twitch.tv/InsomniacGames at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
All right, we're now about to be joined by the one and only Giancarlo Esposito to talk Far Cry 6. Giancarlo, thank you for joining us. Why did you want to take on this role?
They came to me with this phenomenal idea and had proposed that I play Anton Castillo, the leader of Yara, with this big vision and dream for his country. And it really appealed to me because he was a guy who first came from a love of his family and a love of his community and country. And it was so in line with what's going on in the world politically today and what has happened in the past. I thought, what a great opportunity. The other part of it is it's just a different technology that's so brand new, and it excites me as a filmmaker that I wanted to be a part of it.
All right, well, you've played some absolutely amazing villains in your career. What was it like being a video game villain?
No, I'm not a villain. I gotta push back on you. I'll let you finish, but this guy loves his country. He wants to empower you, Keighley. He wants to empower you to stand up and speak your truth. Now, you can go back to calling me a villain if you like.
Well, you are smiling on the box. You're a good guy, right?
I am, because I feel like we as human beings fall in line. And I want to be a renegade within reason. How do you like that? Because I think part and parcel of us falling in line and doing what we need to do and thinking about the cumulative effect of our doing what's right, and the example of that is also to stand up and say, no, I do agree that they're good and bad about all people, but this guy, out of his love and passion for his people, even if they're faceless to him at certain points in time, allow him to be an absolute hero.
Speaking of your character, who did you base him on or study to create this character?
It's so interesting because, of course, the obvious choice to study is Fidel Castro, and it is Cuba, an island that had so many resources, but really the dream of the ability of the dictator to cultivate those resources, something got in the way there, and hopefully that can change in the years to come. It's funny you asked me that question, because I was just talking to one of my daughters about Ceausescu and also Hitler. Because we were talking about zodiac signs and what signs were certain people. What is that mindset that has you wanting to have power over others? And for each dictator, it's different. She'd never heard of Ceausescu and studied political science and all this in college. During my money, though. So anyway,
All right, well, one last question for you. Who would win in a square-off between Gus Fring, Moff Gideon, and Anton?
You know, and I have my favorites in those too. So you asked me this question. And you know, immediately I say Moff Gideon. Immediately. You know, somehow I think Gus is colder and displays that coldness in a very particular way. You know, I think Anton could be the most violent man on earth. But given his situation, he may not rise to that occasion or may not have the time. Moff Gideon is otherworldly. This guy thinks in a different way, and he knows what you're thinking before you say it. And he does all his own dirty work, and he has an incredible tool to help him out. So I'm going to say Moff Gideon.
Fair enough. All right, Giancarlo, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will check out the revolution in Far Cry 6.
And I can't wait for it to begin. Let the games begin!
Awesome. All right, thank you so much, Giancarlo. If you haven't picked up on it yet, Prime Gaming unlocks a ton of in-game benefits for Amazon Prime members, like an exclusive Valkyrie skin in Apex Legends, $200,000 in GTA cash every week you play GTA Online, and in Fall Guys, you get a special Burning Circuits costume for your bean through June 21st. Now, speaking of Fall Guys, the time has come to reveal a brand new costume coming to the game based on a legendary game franchise. Check it out.
Vision bearer dies, the light in their vision will fade away. Organizing the clash is my way of uncovering hidden talents, and hopefully this time, getting a vision to glow again.
Your opponent is new to the clash, but he has quickly become the dark horse of the tournament.
The vision is missing.
The sounds of nature turn into a clamor of noise during stormy weather. The winds are coming.
Clouds high. The birds come!
So today we've announced games, a publisher, Prime Matter, so why not announce a developer too? And joining me now are Dave Anthony and Jason Blundell from the newly formed Deviation Games. We know you guys well from all your amazing work over the years at Treyarch and Call of Duty Black Ops, but what can we expect from your new studio, guys?
Well, thanks, Jeff. And look, Jason and I, we've been mates for donkey's years. And we're like an all-married couple, Jeff. And we've been working together for decades. And we've worked on some huge franchises. You know the games, you know, they've done well. And, but we thought, you know, when you're working on those franchises, the long-established IPs, you're working within very, very tight constraints creatively about what you can do. So we thought, after all these years, you know, what if we deviated?
Yes.
So that's Deviation Games.
Okay.
So, Jeff, just trust me, all bets are off. From day one, we got complete financial security to work with creative freedom and time, not just to make a brand new IP, which is what we're doing, but a groundbreaking new IP with innovation at its very core. And the team at Deviation Games, the culture we have is really, really simple. There's no place for ego. It's the best idea that always wins, and that's Deviation Games.
All right, well, big ideas from you guys as we would expect. Now, I know it's very early and there is nothing to show on the game today, but can you tell us a bit about what kind of game you're making? What can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, you're very right there, Jeff. Very early, but a lot of exciting stuff going on. So essentially, we spent the last year building the team, right? And so what we knew was we wanted to collect passionate, creative, collaborative people and bring them together kind of under one roof, and that's what Deviation Games is. So yeah, we don't have anything to show right now, but that collaboration, that imagination is going on, and we're going to have something that's going to, I think, leave an indelible mark in the industry when we come out.
All right, well, with you guys involved, as I said, we're excited about it. There is one more piece of the puzzle, though, that you want to reveal today, and for that, let's take a look at this. Okay, big news. The stage has changed. Blue of PlayStation, so you're partnering with PlayStation. What can you tell us about that partnership?
That's right, Jeff. And the partnership with PlayStation, it's all about quality. From soup to nuts, this project is all about quality. And our team of deviators that we have back in the studio, we're doing this for you. We are so proud of you. And the partnership with Sony, it's very, very simple. I mean, God, just look at the track record of consistency, of high-quality games that they do. It's hit after hit. It's award after award. And now we've been part of this process, and we see how they do things. Yeah. It's really clear how they're managing to accomplish that. So we couldn't be more proud to expand PlayStation's portfolio, which we're going to do in a very, very significant way.
I mean, let's just face it, right? Sony rocks, and they get our kind of brand of crazy, so we're very happy with this partnership.
All right, so Deviation Games, PlayStation, brand new IP, a mega IP, it sounds like, coming in the future, and hopefully we'll see you guys again in the future to see more on what you're working on.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Awesome. All right, Dave, Jason, thank you very much, guys. All right, well, this year is the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, and later this month, we are honored to be premiering the full Sonic Symphony performance. But right now, here's the Philharmonic Orchestra in Prague performing the music of Sonic Unleashed. Love orchestra music. All right, Sunday, Warner Brothers Games and Turtle Rock will be giving players a new look at the zombie multiplayer fun of Back 4 Blood. And right now, we've got a quick tease of a new boss and news on the beta coming later this summer.
Like two gone get and they talk about all the lives they never got to live. I never learned from my mistakes until I'm too late to do it. Take this! You just want to get high with your
One of the things I'm most passionate about is getting you guys access to play more games at home. Last year, Steam and Xbox did incredible demo events around Summer Game Fest, and this year, Steam's Next Fest starts next Wednesday, and Xbox is back again to do an ID at Xbox demo event, which I'm announcing right now. It starts on Tuesday, and it's completely free, no badges required. One of the games I'm most excited about in the lineup is Tunic from my fellow Canadian Andrew Scholdice. Here he is to give you a little sneak preview of the brand new demo, which you can exclusively play on Xbox starting on Tuesday.
Hi, my name's Andrew Scholdice, and I'm working on Tunic, which is an isometric action-adventure about a tiny fox in a big world where you explore the wilderness, fight monsters, and find secrets. I first started working on it about 6 years ago. It's been changing a lot over the years, but I'm really excited about where we've gotten it to today. So in Tunic, you start the game and you are a little fox that's washed up on a beach, and you don't have a whole lot of context except for, a lust for adventure. And you are going to wander off, and maybe you're going to find a stick, and maybe if you venture a little bit further, maybe you're going to find a sword. And it's really about that sense of discovery, about wondering what's around the next corner. People have played the game at shows before, but we wanted to put together a brand new demo that was, for the home audience. And so it's full of never before seen stuff, a brand new dungeon, a bunch of areas people haven't seen before.
So excited about Tunic, and Sable also is going to be one of the games in that, along with a lot of other awesome titles. So check that out next week on Xbox. Next up, Stave Off Ragnarok, in this ancient Norse-inspired co-op action survival RPG that you can also fully play solo. Classic hack-and-slash gameplay goes Viking in Norsefeld's Tribes of Midgard, launching on PlayStation and PC July 27th. Here is the brand new trailer.
The giants have come to Midgard, and you have been chosen by the gods to protect this realm. But your first task is to find some new clothes that aren't as drafty. Your tribe's journey starts in the wilderness. Hunt down pets, gather rare resources, and explore the untamed world. Once you've plundered all you can carry, return to your village and use those resources to forge Viking-worthy gear. You must protect the seed of Yggdrasil at all costs, or this world and everything in it will be destroyed forever. So take heed. Ahead things rise when the sun sets. Destroy these dark spirits before they destroy the seed. Each victorious knight makes way for a new day, to venture into new lands, build to greater heights, and face fiercer creatures. And with great risk comes great rewards. But be careful, you're of little use to Midgard squashed by a troll. Craft legendary weapons, build deadly defenses, and grow the strength of your tribe, because those giants are on their way. And it's time for us to end their path of destruction. Let's show them our might is greater than their height. As the saying goes, Valhalla can't wait.
Who's ready for some Evil Dead? We announced this game last December at TGA, and now it's time for an extended look at the gameplay. To tell us more, let's turn it over to my friend, Tim Willits from Saber.
Hi, Jeff. It's great to see you. Today, we have some extended footage of The Evil Dead, the game. We are excited to show you this, and to help me explain it is Bruce Campbell. Thank you.
Hola, cyber friends. I'm Bruce Campbell. You know me as Ash Williams, the dude who saved the world from evil. I'm here to bring you the lowdown on the upcoming Evil Dead, the game. You and your friends will team up as classic Evil Dead heroes to live the nightmare. You'll use savage finishing moves or tear evil a new one. Or, if you're not into the whole save the world thing, we have another option. You can play as the vile Kandarian demon itself. But who would want to do that? He'd be a dick. With the power of possession in your arsenal, you'll scare those goody two-shoes to death. Literally, you can do that if you're a dick. Whether you choose the path of evil or righteousness, you'll be throwing down in places you've seen before. You'll collect pages of the Necronomicon, uncover Nobi's lost tapes, and track down other legendary artifacts. When you've grabbed enough, you'll use a spell to send the Kandarian son of a bitch back to the hellhole it came from. Soon, you'll experience the horror yourself, but for now, I'll leave you with this thought. It was no accident that Ash always wore brown pants.
I'll spoil those good looks.
Okay, guys, now it's time for the grand finale to the show. This is extremely special. Today, I am so deeply honored to be given the opportunity to share this next game. It comes from one of our industry's most acclaimed developers and a previous Game of the Year winner at the Game Awards. I want to personally thank this developer for believing in my vision of Summer Game Fest as a new way to bring all of us together for a cross-industry showcase and kick off the summer in the right way. So, without further ado, please sit back and enjoy this truly spectacular world premiere. It is finally time.
The tarnished will soon return, guided by grace once lost. The Golden Order is broken to its core.
search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition, someone must extinguish thy flame.
They will fight, and they will die. In an unending curse. For how else is a champion or a lord to be born?
Well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord. I command thee now!
Brandish the Elden Ring. For all of us.
It actually happened. Elden Ring is coming, as you saw, January 21st, 2022 to next gen, current gen. It's so incredible, and I want to thank so much Miyazaki-san and the team at From for sharing that in-game look at Elden Ring. I hope you guys are happy. Oh my God, I'm free, out of prison, all right. And that's going to do it for Summer Game Fest Kickoff Live. Thank you so much to all the developers who took part, and for you and watching around the world, it means so much to me. Summer Game Fest continues all weekend with Netflix Geeked Week and Prime Matter tomorrow, Ubisoft Forward on Saturday, and Xbox and Bethesda on Sunday, Square Enix as well. Head to summergamefest.com for the full and complete schedule, and this is really just the kickoff to summer and a ton of other amazing events that I'm fully supportive of, and I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us as well. As for me, I'll see you again on August 25th for Gamescom Opening Night Live. And this December, I am so happy to say that the Game Awards will return as an in-person ceremony at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. More details are coming later this summer. Thanks again for being a part of Summer Game Fest. We will see you tomorrow for more, and stay tuned for the Day of the Devs with I Am 8-Bit and Double Fine right now. Good night, everybody.
Well, there you have it. Tam, you were right all along. Elden Ring. How do you feel?
I have been through so many emotions. I went from what the hell is Tunic to nobody is ready for Evil Dead. No one cares to like absolutely elated. That trailer was incredible. Like I am so ready to get off this stream and just pour over it frame by frame. And we got a January release date. January.
Yeah.
That is really
Did you think it would be... I was going to say, how in line with your expectations did you find that release date? Did you think it would be later?
I thought it would be later because of COVID, but I am pleasantly surprised. It should have been out this year, but it was delayed because of various circumstances. And now I thought it was going to be like maybe middle of next year, but it's January, and holy shit, it looks so good. Oh my God.
January is a wonderful release date. Like nothing comes out in January. We'll be able to focus on like this game the same way that we kind of were able to focus on like Hitman 3 for like a month this year. Oh, it's wonderful.
Nothing but Elden Ring content coming. Nothing but Elden Ring content coming. GameSpot will be becoming a full-time Elden Ring website.
Well, that was going to happen regardless of what month it came out.
I mean, yeah. What were the
Did we know that the main character
would unpack? Yeah, I mean, like, well, there's so much to unpack there, but the thing that really stuck out with me is it genuinely looks like an amalgamation of everything they've done so far to a degree. There's things in there that look like Sekiro combat with the kind of hitboxes, and there's types of encounters that they made. There's like open world elements with that character summoning a wraith horse and then like riding up a mountain. That looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's like the bonfire in the middle of like just a wilderness area. It looks like the character is just traveling from area to area in a massive open world. That dragon looks sick. There's a bit where like there's a red lightning bolt, and it looks like the lightning bolts from the Celestial Dragon in Sekiro. And it's just like, oh my god, everything that like thus far that they have worked on feels like it's somehow made it into this game, and I am over the moon about it. It looks so good. And like they have one of the one of the things about it was their design was especially in the Souls games was starting to become quite familiar. They had very archetypal monster and also like enemy designs, and this looks so different now. There's like that one, you know, multi-armed enemy. There's that weird like ethereal reindeer which has got like big Dancer of the Boreal Valley kind of energy. There's that one scene which looks like there's one fight taking place like in amongst this like graveyard which has huge Father Gascoigne energy, and it looks like it's just looking incredibly special right now. I want to temper my expectations, but what I'm seeing of it is very very exciting. I'm ready to be obsessed by another. So I need another From Software game. You lot know how this is like gonna redefine my life for the next year and a half. So I'm so glad that if it had come out and it had been like, looks okay, that would have been devastating to me, because I know that I want to pour over these games and I want to spend, you know, like many others out there in the community, this is going to be the thing that we really put our energy and care and attention into, whether you're playing it or making videos, doing lore things, just being obsessed by it. And if it had come out and trailer looked like, looks kind of okay, looks like more Dark Souls, that would have been devastating. But it came out and what we saw was genuinely like jaw-dropping stuff and genuinely amazing stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm just going on, but like I'm speaking too much like about
you deserve
about, like,
this.
The George R.R. Martin stuff. Like I don't know what kind of input George R.R. Martin had, but like the amount of things, interesting things, whether they're like words, the names of people, places, the factions, the environments, they look so diverse that how that whole world comes together as a whole and as a symbiotic thing, as a one thing that exists in this one universe, how all that exists in this one universe is going to be fascinating to unpack. Until now, From Software has gone into like these kingdoms and places, and they've all had this kind of through line throughout them where there's like an aesthetic or a thematic thing that connects them together. You know, in Yharnam it's blood and this Victorian style thing. In the Souls games there's high fantasy to some degree, knights and that kind of stuff. This looks like it's all over the place, and when you've got so many like diverse sporadic ideas and themes, that just means there's more opportunities for item descriptions and stories to connect it all together in an interesting way. And it just looks like the most From Software game that From Software has ever made. The stuff that I'm really interested in seeing more of, however, is like, how does it play? Because they fundamentally, you know, they've gone through different styles of play with the Souls games and then Bloodborne and then Sekiro. So how does, I imagine it's going to all come together. And I love the idea that it seems like you can pick up a samurai sword or a blade that's similar to it and you're mechanically playing a Sekiro game, kind of. Or you pick up a broadsword and it feels like Dark Souls. But there's also like other weapons that we saw in there, like a bunch of different unique new weapons. That one energy blade that became this massive sword. like the magic looks like it's going to be, I feel like magic's going to be the big thing for this game. Like that's the one thing that has been fairly like not underdeveloped, but like it's the thing that they haven't really pushed to its furthest degree yet. And I feel like this is the game where they really do that. And it just looks good, man. It looks good. It feels good. I feel like I've unclenched after years of waiting now, and it feels good, man. It feels good.
I was gonna say, I'm
What
just
did you
so
lot
happy
think
because
about it?
I mean, you've sort of very eloquently, especially given how excited you are, have kind of gone over what my initial thoughts of it. I don't think there are many developers who can immediately sweep you into a very specific place just as easily as From Software does. And as soon as that trailer started, I think, the hair on my arms was kind of up a little bit because I was like, oh, this is it. This is finally going to be Elden Ring. And I think, ever since that teaser, was it 2 years ago now, the hype around it has been so intense. We've all obviously just wanted to see more of it. And I didn't realize we'd kind of see that much because, like you said, there is so much more to it. Like you use the phrase all over the shop, and I would use that too, but not in a negative way. I think it just is an expansion of everything that From Software has done, and I'm very, very excited about the possibilities in terms of gameplay, in terms of level design, and especially in terms of creature design that's gonna afford them. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to see how it all fits together. And I'm particular. I mean, obviously, your interest is going to be piqued with the George R.R. Martin stuff, but I am like both him and From Software and Miyazaki, just masters of building worlds, and ultimately, like that's the stuff. Yeah, you love Dark Souls and Bloodborne for the combat and the kind of visceral nature of it, but really, the community, when you play it, you love digging into the lore that they've built and uncovering the secrets behind it. And so I can't wait to see what they've put together for this. Jordan, what about you?
I would say I kind of in the same place you all are. I'm like, man, they showed us so much gameplay, way more gameplay than I had anticipated them actually showing. I'm already trying to like dig through like screenshots and the symbolism and words that they use. Like it seems like the main character is called the Tarnished, which I'm like, okay, what could that possibly mean? Like all of the main characters for the Souls games have had like some sort of nickname that like comes back with some greater meaning by the time you finish it. So what could something like the Tarnished mean? I'm really interested in seeing how exactly the world and level design for this plays out, because Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, a lot of their environments that are like specifically designed to encourage the players to encounter enemies in very specific ways, sometimes in a very specific order. So I'm looking at the open world and we're seeing moments where you're exploring, but like you're also exploring and there seems to be instances where it kind of funnels the player like into either bridges or canyons and stuff like that. So is this like an open world game scope similar to Resident Evil Village, where like there's an open part, but you're like going to very clear set piece areas? Or is this truly like completely open world where it's like you can get into these giant spaces that connect to all these other different areas that you can tackle in whatever order you want? Like, what does that look like? How does that influence how combat plays out, if at all? How do you balance for something like that? Like, that's what I really want to see next.
Jordan, it says the Tarnished will soon return. Are you the Tarnished? Or are you someone who's preparing for the Tarnished's return?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like the Tarnished is who the main character is. But again, it's From Software. They love to do the whole, like, subverting thing.
The golden
I was going to say, is this us for the next 7 months?
Yes,
What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh, man.
This is just us until January now.
We
should probably talk about the rest.
I'm going to be insufferable.
Stop playing the B-roll, John Luke. It's going to make me want to keep talking about it.
Any closing words on Elden Ring? Because we probably should talk about the rest of the show.
There was the rest of the show.
It looks good. He reminded me a little bit of the big tortoise in God of War a little bit, except he had a house underneath him and not a giant bell. I suppose.
And the big tortoise in Avatar: The Last Bender.
Look, we're doing a live show
Live
right
shows are
now.
hard.
We should not be taking the piss out of people
Jeff,
mispronouncing stuff. All right, let's talk about the rest of the show. So it should be said that Day of the Devs is also happening. So we are also running that on a separate stream if you do want to watch. It's a collection of indie games pulled together by Double Fine and I Am 8-Bit. It's an event that usually happens, I think, twice a year now. So if you want to go check that out, we have that stream. Or if you want us to just watch our reactions to Summer Game Fest, then stick around here. So we should probably go through the show. Overall, what did you think, Jordan, of this year's Summer Game Fest?
The overall show. It was very exciting up front. I adored seeing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I can't wait to see what that is about. Metal Slug Tactics, I think that's what it was called. That game, I was not expecting to ever see Metal Slug game again, especially in a tactical setup. Whatever Hideo Kojima was doing with that interview where he was mentioning 9/11 and then it crossed into Death Stranding and there was all those Metal Gear stuff, all of that, it was this huge exciting opening. I felt like it might have dragged a little bit midway through as the show was going on. I feel like it was going on a little bit longer than it probably wanted to, and then we got that Elden Ring at the very end. I'm like, this is what we've been sticking around for. This is what I'm excited for. Good ending.
So let's talk about those announcements from the very beginning. Let's kick off with Wonderlands then, because that was the big show opener. So we did know that this game was coming. I don't think we realized the sort of scope of it. I assumed it would just kind of be more Borderlands, but it's actually seems that it's a little bit different. Obviously, more high fantasy. There's going to be spell casting, and you can customize your own character. Jordan, as our resident Borderlands fan, are you excited for this one? What's piqued your interest?
I really wish we could have seen gameplay just to kind of see what those differences look like play out. I'm kind of worried that they're oh, it's completely different from Borderlands. Don't worry. There are spells now. I'm I feel like spells are just what the new grenades are. But we have to wait. We have to see what that looks like. The cinematic we saw was really dope, and I'm excited to see Tiny Tina again, especially in the capacity of a narrator. Her role in the Tiny Tina's Assault and Dragon Keep DLC in Borderlands 2 was phenomenal, and we got a bunch of great storytelling there as she was struggling to wrap around the grief of losing a father figure and that playing out in a Dungeons and Dragon game. I want to see that. I want to see that type of story. I don't know what the game actually is. They made Jeff was oh, it's the new Borderlands game. And then they made a point of being no, this is not Borderlands. It's its own thing. And I'm those are two different messages that I'm getting here. And I want a little bit of clarification.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll be seeing more at the Gearbox event. But what do you make of that cast? Because obviously you got Ashley Birch reprising her role as Tiny Tina, but then Will Arnett, Andy Samberg. Tam, did you expect Borderlands to get this kind of star treatment?
I didn't expect. Well, I kind of expected Borderlands would eventually get the star treatment. It's growing in it's become more and more successful as it's gone along, and the profile of it has grown. I feel like it's also kind of reached a point where it's got enough clout behind it, where putting out a kind of a game that is got an all-star cast is a little easier, especially when there's a movie coming out around the same franchise. Easier to sell that. I like the choices that they've made for who's in the game. Mainly Andy Samberg, because I like Andy Samberg a lot. But yeah, I think it speaks to a kind of ambition to Borderlands that I'm excited to see it has. I mean, in the pre-show I said I wanted something different, and it feels like a fantasy Borderlands, which is I feel like that's enough for me to get me in. And then the kind of voice cast and the kind of Andy Samberg element, the Andy Samberg X factor is enough to be I'll put some money down for that.
I want it on record now, because I want to make this bet. I guarantee you a mission will be set in a place called the Lonely Island. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that would.
I guarantee there will be that kind of.
I don't want to. I don't want to take that bet because I'm pretty sure I'd lose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of high fantasy stuff, and so that immediately got me interested. I'm excited to see more, and hopefully we will definitely see more this weekend. We talked a little bit about Metal Slug, but let's go into that Kojima interview. I don't think anyone had COVID, 9/11, and Hitler on their E3 bingo cards, but they were all covered in this this press conference / Summer Game Fest show. I mean, I guess, what were your reactions to the Death Stranding director's cut / very strange Metal Gear Solid riff that it was having?
Yeah, midway through the trailer, I was just like, I'm gonna have to wait for Tam to just explain what all of this means.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like the moment it started, like, it was maybe 2 seconds into it, and you can vouch for me, I said that's Metal Gear music, and
yeah,
like,
you did.
And then it immediately started doing Metal Gear stuff, and I was like, okay, well, what's going on here? Because there's no way there's Metal Gear happening in Death Stranding, but what is the deal here? It's just a director's cut, which I know, Lucy, you pointed out kind of hilariously that the whole point of Death Stranding was that he was like unmuzzled, like this was
unshackled.
He was unshackled. This was the main version of Death Stranding is the director's cut. So I don't know what else is going on here, but I'm excited to see what changes the team Kojima Productions has made to Death Stranding. I'm super keen to play that game. Like, I didn't get all the way through it. I would love to know when that is out so I can plan, because it's currently one of the games I've started replaying, so I would love to check that out. The actual discussion about what he was talking about is kind of, it's tricky, right? Because like Kojima, he talks to designing games in a way that to him it makes a lot of sense, and to the people who like his games and have kind of tuned themselves slightly a bit more to understand his way of thinking, it makes a lot of sense. But if you're like just listening to this dude talk about his game ethos, and he's talking about 9/11 and that kind of stuff, it can sound a bit weird and corny, but at the end of the day, his message is like he created Death Stranding in a world pre-COVID, and then it came out, and it just so happened to align with COVID, right? And it was like coming at a time when it's a game about making connections, the hoop and the stick, and helping people, building togetherness and forging that path, using technology and the internet to bring people closer together physically. This game came out at a time when the world was forcing us to do the opposite. Or it exists in a time when the world was forcing us to do the opposite. It came out shortly before that, but a lot of people would have played it during that period as well. So I think he's just being super aware of what is the message and what kind of game what kind of energy does he want to put out into the world now. And it feels like he's trying to do something, he's done PMCs, he's done the state of, what the war of the world and the war economy and the war engine of the world. And I think seems like he's drifting towards something a little more positive. And we had Kojima do stuff a little more outside of that wheelhouse with stuff like Boktai and a person who's the head of a studio game for the coming generation we've had so far to this point. And it definitely feels like some positivity and something a little more uplifting is on the cards, and that's exciting because it means that he's going to do something different. Everyone's always kind of, until this point, said he's going to do a horror game because Silent Hills was a thing that they started, and Del Toro was involved, and Junji Ito was involved, and so everyone imagines they're going to pick up again. This is perhaps that speech was perhaps the best case that a horror game in the vein of Silent Hill with Junji Ito and Del Toro might not be the thing he's thinking about, purely because it's not the kind of energy he wants to put out into the world right now. So it definitely had purpose, but maybe I am like fully leaning into this too hard and like reading far too much into it. But that's what I do when it comes to Kojima and various other things.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if he is gonna, I mean, given how prescient Death Stranding ended up being, I for one would love it for him to do something a little more positive, and maybe the world will follow through with that, just like it did with Death Stranding. So we'll go through some of the other bigger announcements from the show. So obviously Jeff Goldblum was there, and I suppose we could have predicted that he was there to announce Jurassic Park Evolution 2. But we also had, the Call of Duty announce was a bit. I mean, it's more, season 4 of Call of Duty. It's not an announcement for me, but it was, cool to see Joanna Faries up there. Did either of you get anything out of Call of Duty?
Not really. I'm glad they put the lad from Army of Two into Call of Duty. Great job on that. Otherwise, Tim the Tap Man is going to be a team leader for something. He seems cool. I like him a lot when I watch his stuff. Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, it's a behemoth. It's Call of Duty is going to Call of Duty right now. I think for me, everyone, and probably a lot of people, they're just waiting for the brand new one that Sledgehammer Games is making. But it was nice to see a little clip of it here today. Ryan Reynolds with the Elden Ring reference out of the gate. I wonder how much of that he was primed to do, or if he genuinely came up with that on his own. But I mean, a Ready Player One-esque movie with Taika Waititi and Villanelle from Killing Eve. That was cool. I think Ryan Reynolds is a huge get for something like Summer Game Fest. I can see the A-list is more at Game Awards, which is typically the sort of bigger show of the year, but it was cool for them to reveal that one here.
I loved him in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. And I'm glad to see he's continuing to thrive since then.
I rewatched Waiting quite recently. Waiting has not aged
For
well,
what?
but it's still it's still a good film. It's funny, but it hasn't aged well.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just gonna go through, because we had a lot of quick hits of things like Among Us. They teased a lot, like new roles, colors, skins, cosmetics. Now they've got achievements. They teased the map, but it was literally a square. And I mean,
really tiny.
That's fair, because Airship was only at the Game Awards, right? So I guess every 6 months between, to be expected.
Yeah.
But then you get other stuff like Chivalry and Valorant and Tarkov. What did you think of 2 Point Campus?
I mean,
it's still too soon for me to go back to college. It looks like a great game. It looks like it looks as fun as 2 Point Hospital, where it's I get to micromanage everything. That's totally my type of game. But I don't know. There was just something about seeing the whole college campus and the activities that students can do, and grading them on their papers and trying to make sure that your college makes enough money so that it can stay open for another semester. I'm I don't know. This is bringing back emotions that I really didn't want to feel again.
I'm still paying off my student loans.
I am 100% going to be taking out all my anger and stress about my college on whatever college I build in this in this game. I'm just going to be I'm going to drive these students into the ground and make them pay. I'm going to make them watch.
You're a monster.
That's what going to college is about.
You've become what you hate.
Big college. Yeah, I loved the guy who's dressed in the knight armor hiding weed in his wardrobe. I thought that was very, very funny. Very true to the college experience. Well, dressed as a knight.
Dressed as a knight, rolling through pots.
Yeah.
So one game that I really enjoyed the look of. I mean, even though it was kind of like a pre-rendered thing, not much gameplay, if any at all. But Blood Hunt, set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe, playing as, I don't know, it was like a vampire multiplayer game, supernatural abilities. I love vampires, not in a Twilight way. I just think they're cool. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's difficult to kind of get a real sense of what a multiplayer game is going to be like, especially when you're looking at a pre-rendered trailer like this one. But if the aesthetic from this matches the final game, I'll be quite happy.
Yeah,
we're quite happy.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I'm glad to see that the Vampire the Masquerade kind of universe is getting fleshed out in a bit more. I mean, like we had Bloodlines years and years and years ago, and that game was fantastic, but it's like very difficult to play these days. But yeah, it's like another one of those universes that's just like ripe for exploring, and I'm glad it's being done. I don't know if this is the approach that is going to hook me, but I'm at the very least interested and intrigued enough by it to definitely check it out. I want to sign up for that closed beta, and it's out next. It's out this year, right? Or
2021.
yeah,
So
it's
not,
out
not too
2021.
long.
Yeah, so yeah, good job. Looks cool.
We've got an updated look at 2 Overwatch heroes. Tam and I are huge Overwatch fans, and I appreciate that Overwatch 2 is not going to be... I don't believe it's coming out this year. They've been pretty cagey about when it's coming out. The stuff they're announcing for it, they kind of had like a ton of stuff to announce previously, you know, like the new mode push, the fact that it's now 5v5. I'm kind of not digging these reveals of just like, hey, here's the character you've known and played for the past few years. Here's how they look in the new game. Whereas you have that game, you have Overwatch 1 that is just languishing because there's really not that much new content coming for it because you assume most of the dev team is on Overwatch 2. So that's my Overwatch gripe. I know that in the interview you did with him, with Aaron Keller, Tam, he said like stuff will be coming to Overwatch 1. It felt like this could have been a good place to announce something for Overwatch 1. It's still a popular game. It's still great. It has crossplay now, but still, you know, crossplay and events with new skins. Come on.
I feel like the only thing worse than no news is news that feels insignificant. And as much as I love Overwatch, I'm getting like... it's getting slightly annoying that the only thing that we're seeing is 1 or 2 characters in their new looks. Like it kind of, it's anti-hype. Like you can't get excited about one character. Like I don't play Baptiste. I think Sombra's fine. But like looking at that, I was like, it's not really like... and like if they had shown me Zarya, I think I would have been like a little more excited, but still not as excited. I just want like a one big, you know, this is our Avengers moment where we're going to reveal every single person from the old game in their new look, and it pans around them and you can be like, oh, this is amazing. Something more substantial. And if they're going to keep showing off or talking about Overwatch, obviously it's in their interest as a marketing, you know, kind of a plan to do frequent, often beats around it. But like, you got to give us something more, like attach a second or 2, 5 seconds of gameplay to it, or, you know, give us a new voice line or a cool animation that isn't dancing or whatever. Like I need a little more than what we're getting out of Overwatch. Like obviously, as Lucy you mentioned, like we play a crap ton of Overwatch, so I'm excited about that anyway. Just give me a little more to, you know, to chew on. Yeah,
it's probably hard though. Like how many teams are they? Like it's not like what Activision is doing with Call of Duty, where it's like, oh, we have many developers, many studios working on different Call of Duty games, so we can keep updating the old ones while working on the new ones. Like if you look at something like Overwatch is basically what happened to like Titanfall and Apex, where eventually just one day Titanfall 2 just kind of died and there was no more new content for it. And then years later, Apex Legends came out. Like at some point, I feel like Blizzard just has to say like, hey, nothing else is coming to Overwatch 1 for a while.
But that's the thing, is that stuff from Overwatch 2 is going to be playable for folks with Overwatch 1. It's a very confusing way that it's shifting. It's not like Overwatch 2 is a clear-cut sequel. I guess the PvE is that.
I feel like it should have been, but whatever.
The heroes and maps and stuff are going to be playable for Overwatch 1 players. So it's like this weird no man's land where the stuff that they're talking about for Overwatch 2, yes, theoretically will be playable with Overwatch 1, right? But it's like nothing's happening with base Overwatch 1 until that new stuff happens. And so it's very weird. And even though we should probably move on because that Overwatch segment was only like 30 seconds within Summer Games Fest.
I think only the Valorant section was shorter.
That was... good grief. That was a very, very short one, wasn't it? We've been going for about half an hour, so I'm gonna slowly sort of wrap things up. We had Giancarlo Esposito. Lovely house. Loved his Peloton,
Peloton
back.
in the
Thought
living
that-
room. That's bold. That's bold.
That's some Gav Murphy moves. Friend of the
Big
show, who
Gav
was
Murphy
on his exercise bike watching Summer Game Fest. But yeah, I mean, it was as we expected. Talking about Far Cry 6, I did anticipate seeing some gameplay, but I guess we just had a conversation about how the dictator doesn't really see himself as a villain, which I suppose I understand his line of thinking about that, but it was kind of a strange conversation. I guess I kind of expected gameplay.
I want to see him talking to Kojima now after those two discussions. I just want to him and Kojima. It's a wild conversation.
Well, that's the thing. If this was in person, imagine them being in the green room together, just having a chat. Back for Blood, we're going to be seeing more of on Sunday, so we'll talk about that then. I was very surprised to see Tunic. So Tunic is a game that I played Gamescom 2018, I want to say. Yeah, I don't think I was there in 2019. I genuinely thought it had come out. Apparently not. But it still looks cute. It still looks great. Like, I'm very excited to play it. I'm just so surprised because it feels like it's one of those games that you just see over and over again, and everyone's so hyped for it, but it hasn't come out yet. Jordan, what do you think about Tunic?
I feel really bad. Like, I think Steve is the one who's really looking forward to Tunic. Like, he excitedly put a tweet into the Slack channel like 4 months ago. It's like, oh, the Tunic Twitter account like tweeted out an image, and it's like the Tunic fox in front of like a golden door, which might mean that the game's gone gold and we're getting it soon. And then they just went radio silent. So it's like you said, it's one of those things that's like 12 minutes where it's just kind of been in the E3 hype cycle for a few years now. And I don't know, I was really excited when it was first announced, and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, just come out. Like, just show us what you are. You've been trying to hype me up on what you've been for 3 years now, and I just want to play you. I just want to see what game this is.
And finally, let's talk a little bit about Evil Dead. Obviously, we were all a bit bereft because we thought it was going to be Elden Ring. But I thought it looked really, really cool. I think it genuinely looked cool. It definitely had the sort of Dead by Daylight vibes, especially when he was like, yeah, you can play as the demon if you want to be a son of a bitch, if you want to be a dick. And I enjoyed that because I play a lot
you related
in Overwatch because I like to be a menace.
Oh
so I was surprised at how gory it was. Well, not really surprised. I was surprised that it was this gory in this show, because the show hadn't been very gory up until this moment, I guess. But it looks great. Any thoughts from you two?
Evil Dead's kind of a franchise that kind of passed me by a little bit. Like, I've enjoyed it. I've partaken in it, but this game's not on my radar, so to speak. It's one of those where I'm like, oh, cool. This is an awesome looking horror game that looks kind of like Dead by Daylight, only like a little bit gorier. I'll probably play it, but it's not like one of my most anticipated for the year or something like that.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. Like, I know this is a bad pull in terms of the experience it provided for us, but like, I've really enjoyed playing these kind of like asymmetrical multiplayer games like Dead by Daylight. What was the other one that we played with the lads?
Did you play the Jason one, the Friday 13th one?
Yeah, Friday the 13th. That's the one.
Oh, and we played Predator.
Yeah,
well?
Predator was the one.
Predator Hunting Grounds.
So we played a lot of Predator with like Greg and Andy over Kind of Funny and that crew, and I'm excited for when it comes out and everyone that in my circles are like playing it and we all jump in together and check it out and see if it's any good, because I know that even if it's like mediocre, we'll get a decent amount of fun out of it. My hope is, and it looks this way, it looks a little more polished than Predator was, and even Friday the 13th was when it came out. So I'm actually quite into this, and Greg Miller and Andy Cortez and Daniel Krupa, Joe Scrabbles, let's hit me up when this is out. Let's party. Let's do some gaming.
Love how you're using our show to do a little bit of networking and matchmaking.
Just LFG on the internet.
Well, that about does it for our Summer Game Fest post show. Thank you, Tam and Jordan, and thank you all for watching. As a part of GameSpot's Play for All, we're going to be back again tomorrow. Tam and I will be joined by Mason Downey from our entertainment team. For Netflix Geeks, we saw a little bit of a preview as a part of Summer Game Fest. Obviously, Geoff is going to be hosting some of it, so expect updates on things like The Witcher Season 2, Castlevania, and according to Geoff's trailer, Splinter Cell. So, got some big questions about that. Maybe Sam Fisher's not dead after all. Maybe he's back in pog form. So we'll be on again tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. PT. Show starts at 9, so join us then and have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, ring baby.